Alright, today we're going to do lesson 5.3 of multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. So you need to have out your sheet of companion workbook and your notebook in order to do this. Alright, the first thing we're going to look at is using a model to multiply a fraction by a mixed number. So I want you to get out your colored pencils, and you need to get out at least 2 different colored pencils to do this. You're going to Okay, so now, first of all, you're going to draw this grid, and you need to section it into 3 different sections here. As you see that these are numbered right here at the bottom, is 1, 2, and 3. Your problem is the bird bath can hold 2.5 gallons of water. The bird bath is 3/4 full. How many gallons of water are in the bird bath? Use the grid below to draw a model to show and solve the problem. So when you draw this, you are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 all together in each hole. Okay. It says you need to color in all of the 2 holes with 1 color because it tells you that you are going to use 2.5 gallons. Now right here in the example that they give you, they don't color in all of the 2 holes. They just show you how they get from one to the other. So I'm going to do it a little differently. I want you to color in 2 holes here. All right, so that's 2 holes, and then I want you to color in half of the other one. So that shows your 2.5. All right, it's a little bit confusing the way they do it because they don't show you that last row across the top. Now, that shows you the 2.5 gallons of water, and then when they show you that it's 3/4 full, then I want you to take your other color, and I want you to show that you are coloring in 3 out of 4 rows in that hole, and I want you to show that you're coloring in 3 out of 4 rows in that one, and then 3 out of 4 rows in this one. All right, you can see the thing that Digits does that's a little bit different is that they don't show you all of this, they just show you your final answer. And it's easier for you to do it this way and mark it and see how they get that step in between. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to count how many squares actually have both colors, or actually have X's in them, or where you can see that they overlap. When you do that, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right, so you see that we have 30 squares right there that actually have both colors in them. All right, so that's very important. All right, so you have 30 1/16. So that's how they come up with this number that you see over here. Now you have an improper fraction, 30 over 16. You need to simplify that now by dividing by the greatest common factor, which is 2. Then you get the fraction 15 over 8. And you never want to leave your final answer as an improper fraction, so you change it to the mixed number 1 7/8. So remember, if you have 15 over 8, you think of the little division problem, 15 divided by 8. 8 goes into 15 one time. When you subtract, you have 7 left over, so that means 1 is your whole number, 7 is your remainder, and your denominator stays the same. So if you can't do that work in your head, it's like working that division problem that you see. Okay, now These rules right here for multiplying fractions by a mixed number, I would write in your notebook, copy into your notebook. Step 1 is you're going to write the mixed number as an improper fraction. So remember, when you have 6.5 right here, you're going to make that the improper fraction of 13 over 2. 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 plus 1 gives you 13. All right, now in the last lesson, or in lesson 5.1, you learned that there are 2 different ways to simplify your answers. And so if you simplify before you multiply, right here, you divide both of these by 2. 2 divided by 2 gives you 1, and 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. But 3 and 13 are both in the simplest form, so you cannot simplify those. So 1 times 13 is 13, and 13 times 1 is 13. So now you're going to multiply straight across the top, and you're going to get 13. You multiply straight across the bottom, and you're going to get 3. Here again, if your answer is an improper fraction, you're going to change it back to a mixed number. 3 goes into 13 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12, so you have 1 left over, and your denominator stays the same. So you have the answer 4 1/3. This example is in your workbook. A track is 1/3 mile around. If you jog 4.5 times around the track, how far will you jog? All right, so here you're going to need to multiply. So if you have 4 1/2 times 1/3, then you need to make sure that first of all you take your 4.5 and you change it to an improper fraction. So to do that, you need to remember that you would do 2 times 4, which would give you 8, plus 1, which is 9. So you should have 9 over 2 times 1 over 3. You cannot simplify the 1 and the 2 as you look across this way, but you can simplify the 3 and the 9. Divide by 3, and this becomes a 1. Divide the 9 by the 3, and it becomes a 3. So when you multiply your numerators, 3 times 1 is 3. When you multiply your denominators, 2 times 1 is 2. So now that is an improper fraction that you need to change to a mixed number. 2 goes into 3 1 time with 1 left over, and your denominator stays the same. So your answer should be A, 1 1/2 miles. Now I want you to work this one in your notebook. An MP3 player has 7.5 gigabytes of memory available. If you use 3/5 of that memory for music, how many gigabytes are used for music? Remember that I told you the word of is a key word that means to multiply. So you should have 7 1/2 times 3/5. I want you to work this out on your paper in your notebook, and when you are done working that out, I want you to raise your hand so one of us can come check your answer in your notebook and make sure that you have completed that problem correctly. All right, here you have another workbook example. The school marching band practices for 2 1/3 hours after school on Friday, and the band spent 3/4 of the time practicing the routine they will perform in a parade on Saturday. For how long did the band practice the routine? So here again, you've got 2 1/3 hours, and you've got your keyword of, so you're going to multiply times 3/4. Remember that you need to change your mixed number to an improper fraction before you can multiply. And then when you're done, check your answer with someone next to you and see if you've got the correct answer. All right, this ends my lesson with you. When you're done, you need to do digits lesson 5.3 that is on your computer in your to-do list. And then you will do the IXLs that go along with this lesson that are listed on the poster. Make sure that you raise your hand and ask the teacher if there's any questions that you have. Make sure that you have put everything in your notebook that you were asked to put in your notebook. Make sure that you've done all the questions that you were asked to do in your workbook. Make sure that you completed the closing check at the end.